Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Tim Benz, debunking the theory that Pittsburgh couldn't handle a Steelers losing season. A common refrain from defenders of head coach Mike Tomlin and the Steelers franchise is that Pittsburgh should be more grateful for the team's current situation. I frequently hear that Pittsburgh fans and media members couldn't handle a 4 or 5-win season if that's what it took for the Steelers to get into draft position to select a quality quarterback. The suggestion is that kind of existence for a year or two would be so bad that we should just enjoy the 9 to 10 wins and non-existent or non-competitive playoff results we keep getting in the city. The theory is that if you are of legal drinking age, you don't know what a Steelers losing season looks like. Hence, our spoiled little black and gold lizard brains would short-circuit if the team had a season bad enough that they ended up drafting in the top 10. I couldn't disagree more. First off, you don't have to be a Pittsburgh sports historian to know that the drafting of Ben Roethlisberger in 2004 turned the franchise's fortunes around. That selection was made possible by the Steelers having the number 11 overall pick as a result of finishing 6-10 in 2003. Indeed, that season was tough to get through. But I don't remember being on the verge of tying cinder blocks to my ankles and jumping off the Fort Duquesne Bridge while clutching my terrible towel. In part, because at least I knew the Steelers were going to get a high pick. Also, I knew that's how the Steelers of the 1970s were built. Like many in their late 40s or older, I survived through 4 losing seasons from 1985 to 91. If you are in your late 30s, you can at least remember the difficult losing seasons of 1998 and 1999. Not only that, but a lot of Steelers fans are also Penguins fans, Pitt fans, and Pirates fans. We are plenty familiar with the concept of sticking out losing seasons in hopes of Mark Madden, Steelers wallow in mismanagement, illusion of success. The Steelers maintain credibility based on 2 brands, their logo and the Rooney family. Simply being the Steelers is enough. But now the Steelers are not serious people. The Steelers wallow in mismanagement that isn't acknowledged, let alone corrected. They're clueless. The current disappointment isn't just a blip. It's a harbinger of more, and worse, to come. It's hiding in plain sight. They have the smallest and cheapest coaching staff in the NFL. It lacks quality. Detroit's Dan Campbell put together a bigger, better coaching tree inside of a week than Mike Tomlin has assembled in 18 seasons. Proof of inferiority reflects in the Steelers' frequent late-season collapses, including 5 straight losses to end this campaign. The Steelers don't improve as the year progresses. Don't adjust. Other teams do. That's coaching. In 2018, they drafted Mason Rudolph in the 3rd round but didn't employ a quarterbacks coach that season. To work with a rookie. That's nuts. The Steelers went the entirety of the 2024 season without a number 2 wide receiver. They traded Deontay Johnson without a plan B, then never fixed it. Lots of good receivers got traded during the season: Devontae Adams, Amari Cooper, and DeAndre Hopkins. None went for higher than a 3rd-round pick. Instead, the Steelers got Mike Williams from the New York Jets and barely used him. They suffered at that spot all year. GM Omar Khan struck out. When Ben Roethlisberger retired after the 2021 season, it posed a problem for Tomlin. Not just because he was losing a Hall of Famer, but because Tomlin had never replaced a quarterback before. Never drafted and developed one. He inherited Roethlisberger from Bill Cowher. Tomlin inherited a lot from Cowher. Tomlin still hasn't replaced Roethlisberger. He's mangled the attempt, not least when he drafted Kenny Pickett in 2022's 1st round. No other NFL team would have selected Pickett in the 1st round. It's football's most important position, and Tomlin can't get it right. Congrats to Pickett for taking a knee to end the NFC Championship game and leading Philadelphia to the Super Bowl. What a great achievement. It's every kid's dream to take a knee in the big game. Pickett might get a ring. They give one to the water boy, too. Unless he refuses to dress as a backup at the Super Bowl. The Steelers' decline hasn't happened overnight. Tomlin let Cowher's culture evaporate. Now it's laissez-faire with little accountability. Better late than never, as George Pickens can confirm. Tomlin got hurt when Cowher's leaders left. Cam Hayward is no James Ferrier, Troy Polamalu, or Alan Faneca. He's also one man. The Steelers won't change their prehistoric approach: run the ball, control the clock, elite defense, physically dominate. But the Steelers can't do any of those. The NFL is about scoring more and faster. The Steelers can't do that either. The Steelers' disintegration has been obscured by Tomlin's streak of never having a losing season. It's really Roethlisberger's streak, which just got kept alive by perhaps the least impressive 10-7 mark ever. 10-8, including the playoff loss. When the Steelers finally post a losing record, it will be a blessing. That streak is an albatross around their neck, an artificial way to pretend they succeed even as they go 8 seasons with no playoff wins. It dilutes introspection. But the Steelers outperform the NFL mean, as a lesser Rooney said. Pittsburgh should be so proud. The Steelers are better than average. Watching the conference championship games made it evident, the Steelers are nowhere close to that level. Tomlin might be coaching his way out of the Hall of Fame. What if he goes the next 5 years without winning a playoff game? That would be 13 straight years and 19 seasons out of 23 in his career without a postseason victory. You're going to put that resume in the Hall of Fame? Yes, illogically. Steelers linked to former Ravens QB. The Pittsburgh Steelers have many decisions to make at quarterback this offseason, one of them being their backup quarterback. And a name that has emerged to keep an eye on is former Indianapolis Colts and Baltimore Ravens passer Joe Flacco. Flacco has already spent time with 2 AFC North teams, starting his career with the Ravens and winning a Super Bowl, and then taking the Cleveland Browns to the playoffs in 2023. He's also spent time with the Denver Broncos, New York Jets, and Philadelphia Eagles throughout his career. According to Tony Pauline of Sportskeeda, the Steelers are one of 3 teams that could acquire Flacco's talents this offseason, filling a backup role for any of them. I'm told to keep an eye on the San Francisco 49ers, Pittsburgh Steelers, and New England Patriots as suitors for Flacco in the offseason, as all would look for a veteran backup, Pauline writes. If the Steelers do decide to keep Justin Fields, which appears to be the expectation this offseason, they'll need a backup. Many believe that will be a veteran who can keep hopes alive if anything were to happen to Fields during the season. Much like the Steelers planned it in 2024, with Fields backing up Russell Wilson. Flacco is 40 years old this offseason, but is still pulling off wins in his NFL career, including a 27-24 victory over Fields and the Steelers this past season. This past season, he had 6 starts and threw for 171 yards and 12 touchdowns, with 7 interceptions. Pittsburgh has also been linked to names like Mason Rudolph, and are showing early interest in NFL draft quarterbacks during All-Star games. But if Flacco ends up being the perfect fit, they'll bring a familiar face back to the AFC North for his 3rd stint in the division. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Joe Flacco? Leave your opinion in the comments.